What is happening, guys? Mike here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got an all-new international product review. This one coming to us all the way from the Philippines with one of the lowest prices I've ever seen coming from a home brewer. Alright, so before we get rolling on this review today, I want to quickly mention that my wardrobe, this awesome jacket in Henley, has been provided by the fine folks at Trendy Butler. This is one of the coolest boxes I swear that they've sent me in months. It was just so well put together. It had two awesome jackets in it, and on top of that, it had this awesome Henley to match, so I was just really pleased with this month's box. And remember, this is an unpaid feature. This is just something that I like to share with you guys because I really enjoy their boxes, and if you'd like to have a box put together for you by one of their stylists, a link will be in the description that will be able to help you out and get you on your way to getting your first box. Moving back over to our focus for today, though, the brand we are talking about here is called El Jefe's, which again is from the Philippines, and according to their site, they came into business to shake up the local grooming scene over there and offer products to the stylish, practical gentleman made using the finest hand-picked ingredients. And this brand does have quite a few products in their lineup, but today we are focusing on 5 products individually: the Blitz Sea Salt Texture Spray, the Quicksand Clay Pomade, Dust Devil Matte Paste, Oasis Styling Pomade, and the Firm Hold Classic Pomade. And with that, we are going to kick this review off with the Blitz Sea Salt Texture Spray. And according to the brand, this is a water-based sea salt spray made from wood sage and sea salt that offers volume and texture as a pre-styler when used with a blow dryer. Specifically, this formula offers a light hold, matte finish, and a loose and tussled style on hair of all lengths. It also comes in a 4-ounce bottle for 300 Philippine pesos, which, get this, is approximately $5.75 US. Looking at this one up close, there's really not much to look at or say. I mean, it's a spray bottle and it sprays. There's not much else to say there, but I would like to point out that this stuff is actually a bit sticky if you get some on your hand, which was actually a bit surprising to me. I was not expecting it to be sticky in the least. Now, I am gonna save all the demos and everything like that for after we get through all the info about all these products. Since there is so many of them, I thought it might be better to introduce you guys to everything first and then demo it out. So let's continue on now to the Quicksand Clay Pomade. And yes, I'm pretty sure I know what you're thinking, and I will comment on this towards the end of the video, but this here is described by the brand as a firm to stronghold, matte to low shine water-based clay pomade. They also describe this as having an Aventus scent, and it's designed for all hair types and styles. This one also comes in a 2.3-ounce plastic jar and sells for 350 Philippine pesos, which is approximately $6.71 US. Inside the jar here on this one, we got a nice and creamy clay pomade. It's something I'd consider typical for this type of product. It comes out slick and breaks down with very little effort. In the hand too, there's not a lot of tack or stickiness or anything like that. It's much more smooth than anything else. Next, we have the Dust Devil Matte Paste. This is said to be a stronghold water-based matte paste that's designed for natural, voluminous, and textured styles. And by the way, did anyone just see me tackle that word voluminous? Hurdled it. First try. That's right, this one is made for voluminous and textured styles. Scent-wise, this one comes equipped with a green Irish tweed scent and sells in the same 2.3-ounce size for the same price of 350 Philippine pesos or $6.71 US. Inside the jar on this one, we got something similar to the clay pomade, but this one's a bit more spongy feeling. It's still creamy, there's no effort needed in the breakdown, but it does have a slightly thicker presence too. This one is also very wet feeling, which is kind of an odd thing for me because it also has a bit of dryness to it, so it's kind of an odd combination if I'm being honest. Now though, we have the Oasis Styling Pomade, and this one here is described to us as a water-based unorthodox style pomade that offers a medium to firm hold, medium to high shine, and an agave and cacao. It's not cocoa. I swear this always happens to me. I hurdle one word and then I get stuck on another one. What is that? Cacao? cacao. I don't know how to say that. Moving on. Just like the other two though, this one also comes in the same 2.3 ounce plastic jar and sells for 350 Philippine pesos or 671 US. Inside the jar on this one, we've got kind of the similar trend to what we've seen in the other ones in the sense that it's easy to scoop out, but this one is significantly lighter weight for sure. It's very creamy coming out of the jar, and breaking it down feels pretty much lotion-like. There's really not much tack or stickiness there either that I can see. It's mostly just really slick and light feeling like a hand lotion or something like that. Now though, we do have our final product, the classic pomade. This is a standard petrol oil-based pomade made for those clean and classic hairstyles. It's described as being equipped with a firm hold, high shine, and a scent that they call fresco. This one here comes in the same 2.3 ounce plastic jar, but this one sells for a little less at 300 Philippine pesos or 575 US. Inside the jar here on this one, we do have a standard oil base. Nothing really new here, but the scoop is quite nice. It's easy to get out and get into the hand and pretty easy to break down actually. The consistency as it does break down is a bit choppy, but it's not bad overall. It does have a slightly waxy feel to it, which I think contributes to that choppiness, but I also think that out of all the products, this one actually gives us the biggest preview within that breakdown as to how it will perform in the hair. Speaking of performing in the hair though, let's just go ahead and jump into the demos here, starting first with the Blitz Sea Salt Texture Spray. Of course, we're starting with damp hair here, and I'm just going to go around my head a few times with the spray. Pretty standard stuff here, nothing too crazy. The first thing I can share with you though as I do this is the scent is very strong. It's not a bad scent per se, it's just pretty strong, and I'll talk more about all that within the ending details, but right now it's blow dry time, and as I dry my hair, I can feel it really getting more and more tacky, which again was such a surprise to me. Most sea salt sprays are not very tacky or sticky at all, and so it's kind of nice to see this change here. I am fast forwarding it just so you guys don't have to sit here for several minutes watching me blow dry, but now that we are all done, you can see what this provides. It's a nice shape, nice volume, and it's got some obvious hold. I'm actually kind of liking this initially, to be honest. It's got a really nice put together look. The texture is a bit light, but in the beginning it's got a pretty good look. I did notice though, as I played around it a little more, just moved it around with my hand, that stickiness kind of left. It was coming off in my hand almost, and you can even see it kind of deflating right there in front of you as I move it around. Moving on now though to the Quicksand, and the first thing I had to remind myself here was that this is a clay pomade, and in a second you will all be reminded as well. I'm of course running with dry hair here, and applying this stuff is just so easy. I mean, it's pretty much like butter going through there. It is so easy, and as I do this, I can feel some hold starting to take position there as well, but after a couple of scoops, I don't feel like it's a firm. It's far too light for that in my opinion. I honestly just don't see it, but it is really easy to style with. I will give it props for that. It responds to the comb really nicely. It's got some of that cool separation and texture going on there. In this case, that shine you see isn't fully from the lights, it is coming from the product, but once again, this is to be expected from a clay pomade. Next we do though have the Devil Dust Matte Paste, and this one for sure was quite interesting. If you remember, I said it felt a bit wet in the hand. This is still the case as I run it through my hair, and it is a bit odd again. It's a little kind of an odd feeling, a combination of wet and dry. It does feel kind of slick as it goes through the hair, but that dryness is still there as well, and that stickiness comes into play a little bit, and it looks a bit shiny there right in the initial application. It's not too bad, it's not tugging or anything like that. It's just kind of a peculiar scenario that you don't expect from a matte paste as you work it in your hair. Now though, let's look at the Oasis pomade. This one, if you remember, was much more lightweight in the hand, so I kind of had an idea of how this would perform, and as I apply it to my hair, I feel like I was pretty accurate in my prediction that it would utilize more of the dry hair for the hold than the actual product. I think it does use the natural thickness of my hair as a base, and the product just allows me to control it, and then the product comes in and just allows me to control it and shape it, which really isn't a bad thing. It's actually a nice approach for pomades for people with thick hair like me, and as you can see, it's very easy to style with. The comb glides through there, it shapes really nice and easy, and really, to be honest, this one is just one of those those easy stylers that pretty much styles itself, which I think is super nice. Lastly now, let's demo the classic pomade. This is of course going into damp hair because it is a petro oil based pomade, and like I said a minute ago, this one has more of a waxy presentation than anything else. That means it's more waxy than creamy, and you can really feel that as you apply it into your hair. As far as hold goes, I do think you can get that firm hold if you use enough, and enough for me was about 3 scoops, and when I got that through my hair and began combing, I felt like my hair was just going nowhere. It was totally locked in from that wax, but it was still pliable from that petro, and when you take that plus the ability to build volume from sticking the hair together, this makes for a very decent pomade in my view. Whew, okay, that was a lot, but let's go ahead and keep going here and talk final thoughts on all of these stylers here, starting first with the Blitz spray. I have to say I was pleasantly surprised with this one. Like I said a couple of times, I was not expecting it to have the stickiness that came out of it. I think for sure it does have a kind of bivalane sidekick type feeling to it. Now I know that's going to make you comparison guys go completely nuts, so let me just clarify that real quick. I said it's got a sidekick type feeling to it. There's still some major differences there. Sidekick has more actual hold, for example, and more actual styling ability in my opinion, and that does lead me to my criticism of this spray, which is mostly centered around the fact that the texture was a bit low and the stickiness, as you guys saw, kind of came out as I ran my hands through it. I kind of felt like my fingers pulled the hold right out of my hair and it kind of ended up on my hands. Next though, let's talk about Quicksand, and let me first say yes, the elephant in the room is named Hans de Foucault. They also have a product called Quicksand. Everybody knows this already, and this, in my opinion, this here and that, you know, for all intents and purposes, everything is different. They're very different. There's nothing comparable about either of these products to each other. Personally though, I wouldn't have named my product Quicksand, but I decided to judge this not based on the name, but how it performed. And for me, this was pretty standard for a clay pomade. It had some really good volume and some nice separation there, which for me was pretty cool. It was nice to style with for sure. I don't think it was quite a firm. I didn't quite see a firm there. I think this was a solid all-day medium, you know, with a low to medium shine for sure. I think that's definitely what I saw. I do think it was pretty easy to style with. It was actually pretty nice to style with. And for scent, I mean, who doesn't love Aventus? I mean, that's such a great scent. And for the washout, came out mostly with water. I felt a lot of it leave with water, but one shampoo was needed, which for me isn't a big deal. Moving over here to the Dust Devil, though, I think this one was actually pretty well done. Initially, I thought it was going to have some issues when I saw that little gleam in there, but then I saw it go down when we combed it through into that matte finish when I used the wide tooth comb, and I think that made it a lot better in my view. And in fact, I think this one probably is my favorite out of all 5 products. I just really like how it settled in and it became drier and brought in all that texture, and you know, I just thought that was really cool. And the scent was a bit strong. I'll just throw that out there, a little piece of criticism. The scent was a bit strong for my liking, and that would probably be the only piece of criticism that I have because I really enjoyed using this one. The washout was super easy, just water, came right out of my hair, and again, I just really enjoyed this matte paste. I'd love to talk about it more, but we do have to keep moving here. We got a couple more products to discuss. Next up is the Oasis pomade. This one here wasn't bad. Like I said, it worked really well with my thick hair and made it just really easy to style with. Without my dry hair though, I tried it with damp hair. Without my dry hair, it didn't work at all the same way. It just hardened up from the moisture in my hair. It didn't have the same hold. It just seemed to work so much better with dry hair, and that's great for people like me, but I'm just not sure how that would go for people who don't have hair like me or don't like to style with dry hair. It just kind of gives me some doubts for people that have either that hair type or those styling preferences. Lastly though, we do have the classic pomade, and this to me was fairly easy to describe, and that's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. A good oil-based pomade should be easy to describe. I mean, really, it should be easy to use, effective, and reliable, and that's what I think we have here. I mean, yes, it is a bit waxy, but that waxiness kind of gives it the hold needed to keep the hair in place, and it's nicely balanced with the slickness so you can actually manipulate the hair, and then it just stays put all freaking day. For the washout too, this is an oil base, so washout is not as easy as the other products, but that's the point here. And in this case, it did take about 2 rounds of the conditioner method, and then it was out of my hair completely. So that's still not too bad for a Petro oil-based pomade. One final point too that I wanted to make about this entire line is that price point is just super nice in my opinion. Yes, these jars are a little small, but they're $6.70 some cents. I mean, I think we can all agree that that's a great price. And actually, in the case of the matte paste specifically, I think this one easily is worth double that price. I think this one was just really well made. It was really nice to style with, so that one gets high marks for me for that reason. But that's pretty much what I got. I know this video is going long, so that's pretty much what I got on this brand for this review. Great job to El Jefe. I really appreciate you guys sending me out your products, and if you'd like to check them out, I will put a link to their site in the description there for you guys so you can check them out if you're interested. And if you guys enjoyed this review, let me know by clicking the like button and drop me a comment down below. I really appreciate that. And if you guys haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. It's a huge help to me and this channel. Thank you in advance for doing that. Take it easy. I'll see you next time.